Hey class, it's time to go through our homework. I hope you have turned yours in already, because here we go. First question says, how many total combinations are in this probability tree? We've learned a couple of different ways to do this. One of them is to go to the end of the tree and just count how many different options there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It looks like there are 12 combinations. This is one way to find the answer. The other way to find the answer is to multiply the number of choices in each step. So there are 2 crust choices, so we're going to say 2 times. There are 2 sauce choices times. There are 3 topping choices. So this is like saying 4 times 3, which is also 12. So you can get the same answer both ways. Doesn't matter how you did. If you got the answer of 12, you can give yourself a smiley face. Now, if you didn't get the answer of 12, pretty much everything else on the page is going to be wrong, but you can check your numerators, at least in your fractions, to see if you got that part of the probability correct. So part B, what is the probability as a percent that they will make a thick crust pizza? So we know that there are 12 total combinations. So now I'm going to look for all the combinations that connect back to thick crust. So that's down here on the bottom. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 out of 12. And at this point, you should know that that's 1/2, which means this is 50%. If you had 50%, you can give yourself a star. Alternatively, you could have said, well, there are 2 crust options. And because this is only asking about the crust and not about anything else, then we could have just said there are 2 crust options and one of them is thick. It will still get you to that 50% number. Okay, the next one. What is the probability that they will make a pizza with chicken? Pizza with chicken. All right, so again, we know that it's 12 combinations. So now let's find all of them that connect back to chicken. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4. So that is 4 out of 12. We put that one into our calculator. 4 divided by 12 times 100. We get 33.3 forever percent. If you have that one, you can give yourself a hashtag. Alternatively, you didn't have to actually find all the chicken options and trace them back all the way to the crust. You could have just looked at the topping options and said, well, here's a group of 3 options, and one of them is chicken. Here's a group of 3 options, and one of them is chicken. Hey, look, there's more groups of 3 options. 3 options, 3 options, 1 chicken, 1 chicken. So instead of saying all combinations together is 4/12, you could have said just with the toppings, there are 3 toppings, and one of those 3 toppings is chicken, and that will still get you to 33.3 forever percent. Okay, the last question. What is the probability as a percent that they will, this one's a little bit tricky, not make thick crust, nor pizza with garlic sauce? Okay, so what does this really mean? It means not thick plus not garlic. A couple of different ways to solve this one too, of course, right? So here we go. Let's find out all the thick options, and we're going to get rid of them. If we don't want thick, we have to cross out everything connected to thick. All right, so all of those down here on the bottom are gone. And then I just kind of lost track for a second. We also don't want garlic. So then up on the top, I'm going to find garlic and cross all those out. All right. It looks to me like there are just 3 options left. So that would be 3 out of 12. So we have 3 out of 12 equals 3 divided by 12 equals times 100 should be 25%. Okay, if you have 25%, you can give yourself 3 exclamation points. But remember how I said that there is a second way to solve this problem? We can think fractionally about these as well. Right, so there are 2 crust choices. One of them is not thick, it's thin. times, there are 2 sauce choices. One of the 2 is not garlic. It's tomato sauce. Times, it didn't actually say anything about the toppings, so I'm going to say all toppings are okay. Run out of room here. Toppings. So there were 3 choices, and all 3 are fine. So now I can multiply across. This is pretty easy on the top. 1 times 1 times 3 is 3. And on the bottom, 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. There it is again. There's 3 twelfths, which still equals 25%. Alternatively, you can see that this last fraction, 3/3, is really just a whole. This is really just the number 1. Right? So I could even just get rid of that. I don't have to multiply by 1. When a number is multiplied by 1, it just stays the same. The value stays the same. So now on the top, I have 1 times 1 is 1. And on the bottom, we have 2 times 2 is 4, which means we could have used this fraction, which is still equivalent to 25%. If you were able to write the fraction 1/4, you can give yourself $, smiley face. And now you can turn this in.